Okay, welcome everyone to the Pod Management and VOLTHA FCAPS meeting for November 25th, 2019. I've started the recording. This meeting will be recorded. It will be published to our YouTube channel. So please keep that in mind that this is a public meeting. Thank you for that. Still waiting for people to arrive. It looks like we've got quite a few people now, so I've got the agenda up on the screen. As usual, we'll start with our status reports and our JIRA review. So starting from the top, the first one would be Ashwarya, who's out on vacation. Naga should be filling in, and I see you're here, Naga. So why don't you get started with your status? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I was in mute.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, hi, Scott. So I have received the changes from the JSON hub related to the key sync, loss of key sync error. So I have started with that. I have compiled the val and the OpenAuth agent with the changes, and there were some changes in the protos which I need to replicate in all the VOLTA Go and VOLTA adapter as such. So the changes included one of the conflict actually. So in the VOLTA protos, they have made it all the alarm filters into event filter. So that change is not replicated in all other VOLTA Go and VOLTA Lib Go and adapters. All those doesn't have those changes. So during the time of changing, those part of implementation has not taken care in that. So that is I didn't see any other further check-ins related to that as well. So I have made my local changes and I have proceeded further. But those things again, it's untracked actually.
Yeah. So which patch said if I search for Naga in here, will it
I know
find?
I haven't checked it.
Oh, you don't have one yet? There's
I know I
updated.
haven't checked it. The protocol changes are there,
Yeah.
but not the Volta lib and Volta libgo. Those changes I have not yet checked in. Just today I got the latest pull and got to know that like during the build it's actually failing because of the event filter. It's actually all the repositories are pointing to alarm filter, and the Volta Protos is pointing to event filter.
Okay.
So
So
that
yeah. So we've got some cleanup to do in the existing tree to make the event filtering code match the latest changes to the event filtering protos. Um,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. Maybe we'll get to that when we get to Devmalya's status. So your status would be you need to get the proto changes in, then we need to get a successful build, and then we need to update Volta
And
Let Go and the other stuff with the proto changes.
yes. So I have actually done the local changes. If no one is actually pushing in, I can actually push that changes too. I have the local implementation done of it for the event protos for all the Volta Go, Volta Libgo, and the Volta. This thing also have done it. So if no one else is actually on that this thing, then I can push those changes too along with this.
Yeah, well, we'll check with Devmalya on the event stuff, but yeah, push anything you have. We'll sort it out in reviews and try to get the work merged as quickly as practical, while making sure all the
Yeah.
builds continue to succeed.
Yeah, sure. And apart from the ticket, like I'm trying to reproduce that key sync error yet. So another 1 or 2 days, I will try to test it and I will push it.
Okay,
So
sounds good.
Open voltage adapter changes, I have it in my local. I just need to reproduce and hit that part. That's it.
So would you say we've got everything that we need from Jason for the first, I think was the first 3 alarms?
I have started with the key loss of key sync error. The other two I need to yet start on it. Like I have picked up one now.
Okay, good. Yeah, my understanding has been we've kind of been blocked on work from, on the BAL brigade, on the BAL driver integration, but it sounds like from your experience that's coming along pretty well.
Yeah, I have bypassed with the local implementation, and I just need to reproduce the error, like the key sync error, and then the OpenVolt framework to accept those alarms, those changes I have done. I just need to once test it and just need to push it to the Kafka with the event framework.
Okay, great. And
Uh,
are your change your current in work item, it'd be this one here, it's reflected in Jira and it's in progress?
oh, I haven't made it in progress. Sorry, I will do that.
Yeah, if you could just make sure to update your Jira story so it's reflected in there. And if there's any complex
Yeah,
status, update the comment to let us know the status, the expected patches coming in, that sort of thing. That'd be helpful for tracking.
yeah, sure.
Anything else, Naga? It sounds like that's coming along good.
Yeah, I'm good actually. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Okay, next up would be Devmalya. Would you like to give your status, Devmalya? Do we have Devmalya on the call? Actually, I don't think we have Devmalya this morning. Well, I will connect with him via Slack. I know he was going to be on vacation for about a week. Maybe he's still out as of today. I think that might have been the case. So Devmalya was working on new event filtering framework. There were going to be proto changes to that as well as changes elsewhere. So as soon as Devmalya is back from vacation, we'll get a status update on that. Let me see. Do we have? I don't think we have Dilip this morning, but I will talk to Dilip over Slack. I'm just making some notes here. Who is offline, and we will get the latest status there. Next up would be Dinesh. Would you like to give status, Dinesh?
Yeah, actually, I forgot to make the implementation of APIs for importer Jira to be resolved because I think all the APIs code has gone in. So I'll do that.
And that's this ticket here that is now all complete and ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, that was a big one. Thanks for getting that work done, and glad to see this ticket go in.
And then I will today or tomorrow update the API document along with this changes what we have implemented. So document is updated.
Okay, perfect. And then we got your first set of makefile changes merged last week,
Yeah.
and I think you told me you have the Go mod changes are ready to have a look as well.
Yeah, means I started working on Go mod changes, but whatever earlier imports I was doing doesn't work any longer for Protos. So that's why where I'm kind of stuck right now. So I created a patch for people to look at so I can get some help.
Okay, great. Yeah, I will make a note myself to look into that as well. I'll make a work item here. Yeah, I'll try to download your patch, see if I can reproduce the issue and see if I can come up with any tips for you on that.
Yeah, or you can go through the patch and see if you see any obvious things over there.
Sure, yeah, I will do that too. Yeah, several of us, myself, Mateo, David, lots of us have been working with GoMod lately, so we have several people to pull knowledge from if we do run into a problematic thing where we're having trouble with something.
Yeah, if I can get hold of Matteo today, then I'll show him and try to work on it because he was, I think, busy last week with KubeCon, so I couldn't see him.
Yeah, I believe he's still traveling for the next couple of days, so you may not be able to get a hold of him. But I will. I'll take a look at your GoMod changes. Um,
Yeah, I think I copied Zach also on it.
yeah, good. Yeah, myself, Zach, Mateo, David, we all can are capable of looking into that. So whichever one of us has free time first, probably me. We'll take a look.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Anything else, Dinesh, to report?
No, not yet.
Okay, next up would be Divya. Would you like to give your status, Divya?
Yeah, hi Scott. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I am preparing a design doc for logging, and I have some queries and which I put it on Slack also with you and David. We are already discussing over the Slack. So the thing is, first thing, whatever the current implementation is there, no, for the logging using OldCTL. So we are going to have that one, and with that this new changes to be there, right? We have to implement new changes also with that.
Yeah. So you're going to be going off in a completely different direction from what's there. So I would assume that what's there will eventually be dropped from VoltCTL. How you coordinate the new stuff versus the old stuff at the two different implementations at the same time. I'll leave that to you. You could give them different command names for now, or you could delete the old. What we have, David. What's your preference, David, on us having two different log implementations in VoltCTL? Should we just cleanly move away from the old one now, or should we keep the old one for a time?
I thought the plan was to do the adapters first, and then move cores over because the adapters didn't have it yet. Was that how we talked about it before?
Yeah, that's the plan. So that means there will be a transition period where we have both, the core implemented using the old, whereas the adapters using the new.
Right.
So
in terms of Volt Cuddle, it means that the Volt Cuddle command is probably going to be a little more complicated right now, because I don't think having like two commands like logger and then logger new whatever would be confusing, which means it may be that there's going to have to be some intelligence in Volt Cuddle or switch even. I guess I could do it that way too, right? But I would caution against having like the logger and logger 2 commands.
Yeah, just if we do that, we'll end up with it called logger 2 forever, probably.
Yeah, it's just hard to it's hard to remove code once things are there.
Yeah. So does that make sense to you, Divya? Try to come up with some way to consolidate the usage, possibly have a argument that switches between the old and the new implementations.
okay, so we can use the current framework, whatever is for the logging, but internally it should switch on the basis of what, whether it is adapter or on the component base, right?
Sure, yeah, if you could do it based on component name.
Okay. Okay, that plan, I'll come up with that. And so with the new implementation, we are going to give only the config file with the logging for the means whatever the hierarchy we talked in the Slack channel, me and David in the morning means today. So only the file name we are going to give, or whatever the current implementation, because with the current implementation we are giving the component name and log level. It is how it is, right? Like what we say is old CTL log level, then log level, whatever the log level name, and then the component name. This is how it is working right now. So with the new implementation, it is going to be file only, or we can
What do you mean file? I'm confused where files coming in.
means whatever the JSON input or a YAML input, whatever.
No, I don't think so. I envisioned there'd still be a similar command. You know, you'd have a command log set blah blah blah. It's just that VoltCuttle would then make changes to etcd to accommodate that. I don't think the input into VoltCuttle is going to be a file.
Okay, whatever currently we are having, it's a similar kind of a thing, right?
I would think so, yes.
Okay, and it will be means what I was thinking is in the etcd the key would be the component name, right?
Well, I think it's kind of a hierarchical key. I was looking at the Slack you and David had this morning, and it
Yeah.
seems, the etcd key is hierarchical. I haven't read the whole discussion because I was prepping for the meeting this morning, but as you walk through the hierarchy, you get kind of more specific into the component. And then each level of that hierarchy is like a key value pair. Is that right, David?
Yeah, that's what when I was writing out, that was kind of what was in my mind. So there'd be a config key, and then under config, there would be a key for, where do we end? Each component, I think it was after that, is where we kind of ended. And under each component would be another key for each package, potentially, right? It's going to be sparsely populated, so those keys would only exist if someone set a logging value towards a package.
Okay. Okay. Then and one more thing is how we are going to set global config for all the components. Means right now we are thinking that we'll set it on, means suppose if update log level for adapters, then adapter will pick up the logging configuration related to the adapter, and it will set the log level, right? But
Well,
what about the global?
Yeah, it's going to have to, the code, right? So the component or package, when it looks at logging, it will have to set its value based on the values in etcd. It'll first look for something very specific. If I'm package A in component B, it's going to say, is there a key for config component B package A? No? Okay. Is there a default config for adapter B? Or yeah, adapter B, right? If there is, I'll use that. If not, is there a default global value? Then I'd use that. So it's going to have to have some intelligence as to which one it will configure based on which keys are set.
Okay. Okay, sure, David. I'll create a document and I'll share with you guys. Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you sketch out some pseudocode for how this will work, fetching the most specific key if it doesn't exist, fetch the next most specific all the way to the least specific, sketch out that pseudocode, and David and I we can review it and make sure it's the same thing we're thinking.
Okay, sure, Scott. I'll share.
Do you think you'll have this design document done by Wednesday, Divya, or?
Yeah, I'll try to complete by Wednesday.
Okay, yeah. So Thursday and Friday are going to be holidays here in the U.S., and most of us ONF people will be will be off for those days. So any work that we want to consider for this week for us to be able to sort of guarantee being able to take a look at it and review it. It'd be nice to get it in on Wednesday. Of course, those of you in areas where you're not taking Thursday or Friday off, continue working, but just be aware that you may have sparse access to some of us at ONF if we're taking the official holidays off. That's why I was asking if it could be done by Wednesday. But yeah, however long it takes to get a quality design document, I think that'll be a huge help, having that document so that all of us can take a look and review it and agree on the design before implementation starts.
Yeah, sure. I'll try to complete by Wednesday and Wednesday my evening. So your Wednesday morning.
Sure.
So you can review and give me comment.
Yeah, that'd be great if it comes together by then. If not, we'll look through it either over the break or early next week. But yeah, the effort it's going to be a huge help having that document. So thanks in advance for that. Any other status, Divya?
No, all my Jira is already merged. Thanks for you and David for helping me in that.
Okay, great. And you have an open Jira item on the design document.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's got to be in here someplace, Divya. Okay, so it's this one here. Yeah, we should probably put this issue in progress.
Yeah, I'll make change.
Yeah, if you could put that in progress, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, next up would be Ganesh. Would you like to give your status, Ganesh?
Yeah, regarding SIBA 599, last week I have pushed the final review, and as per our discussion in the Slack group, I worked on adding timestamp and port ID today. So I have coded that, but I could not test because my SIBA was not working due to maybe some internal network issues. So this week I will test and close on that. So maybe I will ping you separately for any new item if we have to take. So 599 will be closed this week.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Ganesh. Any thoughts on doing a demo for one of the VOLTHA calls, perhaps next week?
Yeah, we can do it. Just let me confirm in a couple of days. I will confirm you on Slack. I just want to get my setup in place. I need setup SIBA setup to show end to end to on the Prometheus and Grafana. So yeah, so once I get that, most likely we can do it. But let me confirm in a couple of days. Is that fine?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, whenever it comes together, that'd be great. So Julie is on the call, so we will, we'll plan on once you get something working, we can talk with Julie about scheduling it for whichever VOLTHA call would be appropriate.
Yes, we can do it. Yep.
Yeah, I have go ahead.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I'll ping you separately. Maybe we can talk about the next item if we can take something in a couple of days.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So now that RX power issue is cleared, right?
Yes, Dinesh, as per the discussion on Slack group, so we don't have that parameter, right? This is what I understand. Yeah.
Do we have to update any Jira for that?
Maybe yeah, that's good point. I can put it. I can drop a message in 599 comment box, mentioning that that parameter is not available and what all parameters we have already handled. So that can be that's a good idea to have a record. So I will drop that message tomorrow.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ganesh. Is that all for your status?
Yes, Scott, that's all. And Omkar could not join due to some emergency, I think. Maybe I'll ask him tomorrow or day after tomorrow. He will drop you a separate note on his status.
Okay, great. I hope all is well with Onkar, and I look forward to hearing from him. So yeah, I hope
Yeah,
everything's going well with him.
yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, next up would be Rohan. Rohan, would you like to give
Ye-
your status?
Yeah, hi Scott. So last week I submitted that patch for Kubernetes probes for OpenMNU adapter. So that is merged also now. And actually today I've also started looking into this performance metrics also. I was going through some Jira tickets regarding it 1092 and 939 also. So maybe I have to explore a little bit more on that. I couldn't do much on that. So maybe by next week I'll be in better position to give some report on that.
Sure. Have you assigned yourself any tickets?
No, actually I was looking into that 1092 and 939. So maybe one among them I'll assign to myself.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look here and remind myself of what they are. So, including BR and ranging, and the other one. Let me make a.
939.
Okay. Okay, and both of these are medium priority stories. Is that right? Okay, so the first one is a high. So
Okay.
if you feel you could do you're qualified to do the first one, always err on the side of a high priority story as opposed to a medium priority story. So if you think you could handle that one, that'd be great. So you're going to spend the next couple days just kind of exploring these and finding out if these are something you feel you'd like to work on.
Yeah, I'll spend some time on that.
And you'll have a decision made approximately when, do you think?
Maybe by tomorrow, by Wednesday, I'll be taking up one among them.
Okay, great, yeah. The sooner we can get something, as assigned to you and in progress, the better. Just from a Jira tracking perspective, it's nice for everyone to have, some to do and some in progress stories.
Yeah, sure, Scott. Yeah.
Okay, is that everything, Rohan?
Yes, that's all from my side.
Okay, I think I had, a couple things I wanted to go over. Well, first of all, do we have anyone else who had status information? I think I've covered everyone, but is there anyone else with status that you'd like to discuss? If not, I'll move on to the other items in the agenda. Okay, well, moving along, one of the things that is really important to us is tracking everything with Jira. So just looking at the board, I assume everyone, has some experience that, I've been talking to you guys, you've been in Jira, you've been doing things. Occasionally I'll ask you to, update your status on a story or something. So I assume everyone is at least minimally familiar with Jira. My first point is it's good for everyone to have an in progress story that you're working on. This lets both myself and management know what your current item is. And it's also important to have some to do stories for the future so that we have an idea once you complete your current item what you're going to be doing next. So if everyone could just generally try to keep that in mind, to try to keep those two things kind of going on a perpetual basis, that you'd have, in progress items and to do items. Another thing to do is to make sure you don't have too many in progress items, because it's hard for people to be working on 10 things at once. So if you find you're starting to build up a lot of in progress items, maybe because you got blocked on something, or it's going to be a while before you get back to it, put that item back to do, and then put it back to in progress when you actually get to working on it again. So there are lots of unassigned stories. if you're looking for work to do, look to the unassigned ones. Another point I wanted to make is we do have priorities. So if you look over here at these little arrows, and it's kind of hard to tell one from another, but sort of the boldest red one is a high priority. That's ones that management has gone in and said that's an important story. We'd like that story worked on, more than the other stories. So always err on the side if you feel qualified and interested in a story to grab a high priority one over low priority one. These kind of orange ones here are mediums. Mediums are still good. If there's not a high priority that you feel you can do, grab a medium. But then we get down here to these green arrows pointing downward. Those are low priority stories. So if you're working on a low priority, it's good to finish it up, but try to avoid taking those as new work, and instead, try to take a medium or a high priority story. Let me see if I had anything else. So always have an in progress, always have it to do. Understand the priorities. Breaking up your work. So I have this story here that was one of Dinesh's, which I think is a great example of breaking up your work and describing the story and such. So inside the story, we have a description of what the story is. We actually have a link to a design document where people can learn out more about the design. We have sort of a scope of work description. And then the story was broken down into subtasks. And this is great because as each subtask gets completed, you can check it off, and people can see at a glance, what fraction of this story is done, how close is it to complete. Subtasks also give you the ability to allocate them to other people. So you can see this story. Dinesh did a lot of work on it, but Dilip also came in and took one subtask, and Maddie took another subtask. We have one as unassigned that someone forgot to put their name to, but it was probably Dinesh or Dilip or Maddie who did that one.
No, I think unassigned is basic. That particular Jira is like we don't have to implement that.
Okay, so this was one that didn't have to be done.
Yeah.
Okay, great. But anyway, breaking a complex task into pieces like this is just it's really useful from a management perspective to see how the task is going. So I would say if you feel that a task cannot be done in like a week, try to break it down into pieces like this so that we can see, on a weekly basis what parts of it are getting done. That's super helpful to everyone. Did I have anything else I wanted to make points on? I think that's all I wanted to make points on. Is just it's really important from a brigade perspective to be tracking all of our work as accurately and precisely in Jira as we can. Does anyone have any questions or any other comments or suggestions on our use of Jira? Okay, if not, the other thing I wanted to briefly mention was design documentation. Design documents are really helpful. You've heard in this call, we've been talking with Divya about preparing a design document for the logging work. We do have a shared folder that a lot of these design documents go into. You may or may not have access to write to the shared folder yourself. If you can't directly create a document in the shared folder, just create a document on your Google Drive, share it with me, and I will get it moved into the shared folder for you. The value on this is that it allows all of your design work to be put in a document. All of us can look at it and comment on it and be aware of how the design is going. If you need to hand off your work to someone else for vacation or something, the design is all documented and someone else can easily pick it up. So, for example, the work that Aishwarya was working on, alarm design and implementation notes, we have all of Aishwarya's notes from what was going on with the alarm stuff. That was very handy. Other notes in here, just various stuff. Redfish importer API. This is Dinesh's design document from the importer API. Again, it's all in here. You can see David was able to leave comments. Dinesh was able to address those comments. It's just a great place to collaborate on stuff. So as you're approaching a task, make sure to create a design document for it, and we'll get the design document put in the shared folder so that we can share it. I think that's it for everything I wanted to cover today. For a future meeting, perhaps the one next week, maybe I will prepare some notes on unit testing, which is another thing that we need to kind of start paying attention to. But that's it for what I planned on talking about today. Does anyone else have another topic you'd like to discuss today? If not, I think we can adjourn the meeting. I would like to thank everyone for attending, and we'll speak to you again next Monday.
Thanks. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, Scott. Happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving. Bye.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you all as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.